the left, we have our Galaxy S21 Ultra Exynos. On the right, our Note 20 Ultra Snapdragon. So it's going to be really interesting how these phones compare. Alright, no apps in the background. First up, what I want to do is Geekbench, because I'm really interested how the scores compare. Both phones still wobble, as you can see. So as you can see, the Snapdragon 865 Plus is 3.9 GHz, but the Exynos is only 2.91. So we already know that the Exynos is technically weaker. Okay, very impressive. Okay, the Exynos actually beat the Snapdragon. So remember last year how the Exynos was weaker than last year's Snapdragon. Well, this time it is not the case. I don't have a Snapdragon 888 phone to compare, but the fact that the Exynos 2100 beat the Snapdragon 865, despite technically being more underpowered, very interesting. Okay, now we're gonna do a quick speed test. Play Store 3, 2, 1. Exynos wins. eBay. Chrome. Wow, honestly I'm shocked. The display on the S21 Ultra looks significantly better. Now that I'm looking at the two of them, the Note is a bit more bluish, while the S21 Ultra colors are more accurate. S21 Ultra's on the left, the Note's on the right. What I want to see is if both of them can run PUBG at 60 FPS on the highest resolution. Because the last year and the year before that, Exynos phones couldn't run this game at 60 FPS. So now, that's what I want to know. You guys won't be able to see the 60 FPS, so I'm just going to have to let you guys know. Okay, the Note is 60 FPS, very smooth. But as for the S, I don't know, it's still smooth, but it's like a tiny bit less. Like, okay, I'm running into water here. Okay, you guys can't tell, but the Note 20 Ultra is perfect. It's locked at 60 FPS, but the S, I mean, the frame rate is pretty consistent, but it's not 60 FPS. It feels choppier than that. Don't get me wrong, it's way better than what Exynos used to be, but it's not 60 FPS. It's like, it feels like 55 or 54 FPS. Like, I don't have an FPS counter, unfortunately. Sorry about that, guys. So the Exynos is like, it's very impressive so far, but the Snapdragon Note still has the higher FPS. Okay, now that we got performance out of the way, let's talk about the build quality. So both of these phones are metal in glass. Actually, it's technically aluminum, but I just say metal. So the top and bottom of the Note are squared off, not the sides, but I do like the Note design more. I like the boxy design, and a lot of people do as well. The Note actually feels thinner in the hand, but that's mostly because we have a smaller battery in here. The battery here is 4,500 milliamp hours, and here it's 5,000 milliamp hours. So the S21 Ultra does feel thicker in the hand. But when we turn them over, we see the real difference. So the Note 20 Ultra, last year they did the matte finish, but only for the bronze. They didn't do it for the black for some reason, so this is the glossy black. Which, you know, I'm fine with it, like glossy glass. I could take it or leave it. Same with the matte. Like, I prefer matte because it just feels more premium. So I'm really glad that they did this with the S series, and I hope the Note will be like this as well. What I don't understand is why are they giving the bigger batteries to the S series when the whole point of the Note is, like, you know, power users and all that. So why does the Note get the smaller battery? I do not know. When the Note first came out, like, look at all these fingerprints already. Like, the matte doesn't get that. I was pretty impressed by the size of the camera boom, because that means bigger lens, bigger sensors, better image quality. But then this comes and takes it to a whole nother level. So this is only 50 times zoom, and this is 100 times. But last year on the S20 Ultra, the 100 times was awful. But according to other people, it has been improved. So I'm really curious to see that. We're going to see that in the camera comparison right now. 8K video on the Note 20 Ultra. $8K video on the S21 Ultra. Crops in a bit more. 4K video on the Note 20 Ultra. $4K video on the S21 Ultra. Front-facing video on the S21 Ultra. This is the Note. This is the S. Look, S, Note. I mean, it's not, okay. It's not that bad, come on. It's because it's flat on a table, it's hard to do with the Note, but basically. Okay, I know why, okay. Let's try this again. Note, S. Okay, I just didn't put my finger right. Okay, let's do that again. One more time. Note, S. So the S actually is faster. I mean, it does look faster, doesn't it? So I'm glad they finally updated the fingerprint sensor. Okay, now let's see which speakers are better. Alright, so the S21 Ultra speakers get louder than the Note, so really glad to see they improved the speakers. Okay, last test is the display test. So I've mentioned earlier that the S21 Ultra screen looks better. So now we're going to test them side by side, see which one is better for sure. Note's on the right, S is on the left. So zooming in. So I don't know, the Note kind of has more of a bluish look, and on the S21 Ultra it actually looks, the colors look more realistic. And as you can see on his forehead over here, the shadows are a bit better. I don't know how well you guys can see it on your end, but on my end, there is a clear difference between the two devices. And before you haters come, yes, these are on the same brightness, as you can see. So yeah, again, we do have a bit more contrast on the S. I don't know, the colors just look better overall. The wood does have better colors on the S21 Ultra. So yeah, I didn't expect there to be this big of a difference, but there is. But yeah, the S21 Ultra definitely has a better display. Not to mention it can do 120 Hz in 2K resolution, and while the Note can't do that. I mean, speaking hardware wise, technically the Note can do it, at least the Snapdragon version I have right here, but Samsung disabled that option. So now you can only do it on the S21 Ultra or the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. Alright, so as you can see, both of these phones are very similar. So the question is, should you upgrade from the Note 20 Ultra to the S21 Ultra? Well, it comes down to the question whether or not your Note is Snapdragon or Exynos. If it's an Exynos, then the Exynos 2100 is a pretty good upgrade from the Exynos 990. But if you have a Snapdragon, then stick with your Note. Or if you don't care about which chip it has, then the Note. Because, you know, despite the chipset, we still have the better design and the bigger display on the Note. This is 6.8 inches, this is 6.9, and even though that doesn't sound like a lot, you definitely feel the difference. Alright, I'm not just saying it. It just feels smaller than this. I mean, I personally prefer Notes but better. As for battery life, I can't say for certain. Based off of the usage alone, I think that the Exynos is actually better than the Snapdragon in battery life. That's just my speculation. If you want, you can come back to this video a few days later, because by then I'll probably be able to answer you. If you have any more questions, leave it in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.